So Bungie is making some changes to the way that seasons are going to be handled post Shadowkeep launch. It's going to be basically a battle pass, paying for seasonal content. What are my thoughts on it? We'll take a look in this new segment that I'm calling Let's Chat. So let's go ahead and chat about it, gamers. So if you've been following the channel for a little bit, you know that I'm a pretty big fan of Destiny. And the Destiny franchise. I've been a fan of Bungie's games for quite a while. And Destiny is one of those games that completely has consumed my gaming life pretty much since it's come out. I've had some criticisms of the game, especially around the Crota era and the Osiris Warmind era. However, Bungie has gone a long way in developing the game and how they approach the game, and now that they're no longer with Activision, we're seeing some more transparency from the studio, including several posts from game director Luke Smith. And earlier this week, he posted on Bungie.net an update regarding how seasons are going to be handled in Shadowkeep and beyond. So if you played Destiny 2 at all, you know that there's seasonal content that is added after a major release. So for example, there was a season pass that was included, or that you could purchase separately with Forsaken. And that included several different types of content, including things like the Black Armory, the stuff with Gambit, the Season of Opulence, etc. And it's something that you basically paid for the annual pass and you got the content as it released. If you've been following what Luke Smith has been saying throughout the last couple of posts that he's been making about the state of the game, the state of development, and then this particular post around Shadowkeep, he's mentioned before, and he's mentioned again in this article, that Destiny cannot continue to add activities and keep those activities as a static addition to the game. So basically what Bungie is looking at doing is adding in timed seasons where the content is only available for that season. And then when the season ends, that particular content or activity goes away. Maybe it'll come back, maybe it won't, but it's tied to the season. It's not basically adding in the Black Armory forges and keeping them in perpetuity for the game. And that is pretty much in line with Bungie's development philosophy that in order for Destiny to continue to be a living world, they cannot continue to add static content that stays in the game pretty much forever. So fast forward to the post this week where Luke Smith basically said, listen, you know, when Shadowkeep comes out, we're going to be kind of changing how our seasons work. And basically when a new quote-unquote seasonal activity or season comes out, you can either participate in some parts of that activity or that part of the season for free, or you can pay a certain amount. They said somewhere around like $10 for the seasonal battle pass and have access to additional content as part of that season. So kind of think of things like Fortnite, how Fortnite has seasons like that where you can pay for battle pass content, things along those lines. It's very akin to that, and it's something that we would tend to see from like a live game, which is certainly the direction that Bungie seems to be going with Shadowkeep and beyond. So basically, and I'm just kind of reading from an article here that was posted on Polygon. I'm going to link to that article below. Basically, the seasons are going to change Destiny's world every 3 months. So the first season to come out was Shadowkeep, Season of the Undying. Players will open a Vex gate, creating a new activity and rewards. 3 months later, players will close the gate, end the activities, and set Season of the Dawn in motion. Including Season of the Undying and Season of Dawn, Year 3 will contain 4 seasons. So with Shadowkeep launching, we're going to have 4 opportunities for seasonal content to be added and removed. And they basically have said that this is kind of how Bungie feels they're going to be able to keep the game evolving over time, which I can certainly understand that, and I can get on board with that, to be honest with you. Now, they are saying that the weapons and the rewards for the seasons aren't going to be gone forever. They didn't really elaborate how, but they did mention that, you know, they might be able to get the weapons or armor that they may have missed in the that particular season a couple months after the season has ended. But they didn't really say how that's going to be, so obviously that's yet to be announced or yet to be seen. But you know, Luke Smith did say that there are going to be periods of time where if you miss out on it, you're not going to have access to it for a while. You'll get access to it again later, or the ability to get access to it again later, but it's going to be a little bit of time. My first take on that is I'm okay with that because I can see the development philosophy and I can see where they are going and why they're making these changes. It's to continue to support more of the live service philosophy that Destiny is moving towards. And it's also going to help fund Bungie. I mean, they are no longer part of Activision. They are an independent studio now. They're an indie studio. So they need to be able to have ways to get certain revenue while still making sure that players don't feel like they have to pay to get content that other people have. So I'm curious as to what you think about these changes. You can leave a comment below as to what you think, but personally for me, I don't have an issue with it. Another thing that was mentioned in the article was artifacts. So there's going to be a seasonal artifact that's going to basically help you with your growth each particular season. Now the artifacts are free for all players and you can level them up throughout the season. So again, I'm going to link this article, this Polygon article here, which has a really nice screenshot of the Gate Lord's Eye, which is a seasonal artifact in the game. It's basically going to come with an uncapped power bonus that extends across your account. I'm going to say that again, an uncapped power bonus. Does that mean we're going to be able to have kind of no limit when it comes to our player power level? That's an interesting thought. It's going to be very interesting how that gets utilized into the game and how you're going to be able to unlock mods and kind of modify this powerful artifact that's going to be part of the season. Now, after you unlock a mod on this the seasonal artifact, you're going to be able to slot those mods into weapons and armor, and that's going to remain for the season. And basically, according to this, it's saying that the goal is for mods to change the way you interact with the world and just create unique effects. So then at the end of the season, again, this is a seasonal artifact, the mods and the bonus power that you're getting, it's going to go away. It's going to reset, basically, because keep in mind, it's a seasonal artifact. So it's going to be very interesting. There's a lot of changes. We know Armor 2.0 is coming out. We see this now with the whole way they're approaching seasons and the seasonal artifact. It's really going to kind of change the meta of the game and how players approach their power, how they approach the activities that are available to them and the content that's available to them. Really, really interesting. Finally, regarding the season pass, again, I'm going to have a screenshot here and a link to the article down in the description, but it talks a little bit more about the battle pass, and basically each season is going to come with 100 ranks within that battle pass, and you can earn max level counts towards their pass. So it's saying here, remember how I mentioned at the beginning of the video that players don't need to buy a battle pass. They can still play the content without buying the battle pass, but there's going to be some differences between the two tiers, as you would imagine. So free players will be able to earn some powerful items, but the real stuff kind of comes with that $10 price tag. So, you know, I'm not going to read out every little bullet point here that Bungie had mentioned in the battle pass, but it's looking like there's an exotic hand cannon for grabs, some legendary weapon drops, additional bounties, exotic weapon quest for a bow. So I'm seeing an exotic bow, exotic hand cannon, a couple different armor sets, which is kind of cool. And then there's also armor ornaments and weapon ornaments. Again, you don't have to buy, you don't have to spend $10 for the season. You can still play, you still get rewarded, you still have access to content, but if you tend to opt in for some extra money, you'll have more rewards and you'll have more benefits than you may have if you didn't opt into it. Now, I mentioned before, it looks like there's going to be 4 seasons with Shadowkeep. So you talk about the cost of the game and then you add in the $10 per season. You're talking $40 for the seasonal content. Is that worth it to you? Maybe, maybe not. I can tell you that I've just crossed my 1,100 hour mark in Destiny. Probably not a lot to some of you out there. To me, that's a lot of hours in the game. Is $40 worth an additional 600 plus hours worth of content? Probably. Probably. I mean, you got to do the math there. I'm not really good at math. Maybe I'll add in the math. But that's a pretty good deal. I mean, obviously it's to be foreseen yet, and I could totally change my opinion at some point. That could certainly happen. But for now, again, it looks like basically we're going to be getting the ability to have additional content for a not what I would consider a nominal fee. This is all really kind of going into that direction of Destiny as a live game. We've got free-to-play players coming in with New Light, which is going to be happening when Shadowkeep launches. We've got a lot of new players coming into the ecosystem, and this is Bungie's way of being able to really kind of tap into that and deliver content at a price that I would think to be reasonable depending on how much you play. Now, if you only log in 5 hours a month on Destiny, it's probably not worth it to you, right? So your mileage is going to vary on that statement. But that's really what I kind of wanted to talk about today in our first Let's Chat session, right? So this is some recent Destiny news. I really care about Destiny, so I figured this is something that I'll go ahead and talk about. Going forward, I plan to make a video like this as I can about gaming news or things that I might find interesting to you. Could be about gaming, could be about technology, could be how-tos, could just be little things about my life going on. But I do plan on making some more videos like this. So that said, I know this was a long one, but that's the kind of purpose of these videos, is to give you my opinion and to talk a little bit, spread some news, and solicit your comments, solicit your opinions. So do you agree with this direction that Destiny is heading? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What are your thoughts? Leave something in the comments below. If you have ideas for things that we can chat about in our next video that comes out, go ahead and leave a comment on that too. I'd really appreciate it. So until next time, glad we got this chat. It's Reclaimer from 2XP Gaming. We'll talk to you soon.